New comic book day is just about here again. So let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I take a look at all the books that have been solicited. I'm going to tell you which ones are on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and we'll even talk about some new series debuts or special issues that are on my radar for this upcoming new comic book day, and that is Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Now, this is the fifth Wednesday of the month, one of those rare fifth Wednesdays. And because of that, you would think that means it's a light week for me. And I guess technically it is, but there's a lot of comics coming out. So let's talk about them. When I hit my LCS Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh, North Carolina, inside Triangle Town Center Mall this Wednesday, I'm going to be grabbing a stack of about 7 books, starting with the book I am most excited for. And this week, that is Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 2. Now, The Long Halloween, or The Last Halloween, as I'm calling this series, is written by Jeff Loeb, who of course was the scribe behind the original Long Halloween series. And this is a series that's being done in tribute to his frequent collaborator and artist on the original Long Halloween, Tim Sale. So each issue is going to, it's not a one-shot issue, but we're telling a sort of mystery over 12 issues, but each issue has a different artist on it. The first issue had, was it Eduardo Riso on it? And I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed the art. I felt like it was a great sort of callback to the Long Halloween, especially on the colors. And I can't remember who colored the book, but this issue sees Jeff Loeb writing with Klaus Janson on art. And I mean, if we're just going to get a who's who of classic or just amazing Batman artists, like, I'm down for this. Like, for me, I feel like what's going to set the tone for this, or what's going to determine whether or not this is a great Batman story or just a cool project, is how well the tone is kept even among all these varied art styles. So issue 2, I think, is the first real test of the series. Is this going to feel like a world apart from what we saw in issue 1? I doubt it. I think all of these artists, like, their styles, they're not the same, but they line up with each other enough. And they, more importantly, match the tone of the story enough that I think it's going to be pretty cool. But Klaus Janson on issue 2, definitely nothing to sneeze at. You know him from, like, inking everything in the world, including The Dark Knight Returns, but also being an artist in his own right. So that's going to be cool. $4.99 is the cover price on that, and I'm grabbing cover A. And since we started off with a DC comic, let's talk about the other DC comic that's on my pull list. And it might be time to see this one go. It might be time to go ahead and cut the cord on Action Comics. Issue 1073 is out this week. This is part 3, or is it 4? Part 4 of the Phantoms storyline. And I thought the Phantoms thing, I thought this whole Mark Waid storyline was only going to be 4 issues. It turns out it's going to be 12 issues, I think. And all 12 of these issues are going to be weekly. Action Comics is weekly, at least until January, when John Ridley takes over for the next story arc. And I just don't need Action Comics to be coming out weekly. Like, I can go on DC Infinite and read Action Comics weekly from back when it was, a Superman and Green Lantern backup storybook. Like, I can do that and read that at my leisure. But I don't need a new weekly issue of Action Comics in my pull box weekly. Maybe I'm being too hard on this book, but I'm just, like, flabbergasted. Like, DC, we're all in. Like, there are so many books coming out. There are a ton of new series debuts happening right now, including a Justice League book from Mark Waid. And 2 weeks ago, we just got Batman and Robin Year 1 from Mark Waid. I don't get why this book specifically needs to be weekly with everything else going on. But hey, I guess that is what it is. But I think I'm going to bow out. Like, as much as I don't want to break my run of Action Comics, I don't need to buy 12 issues of Action Comics in the next 2 months. So there we have it. If I don't buy this book, yes, it's still an if. I'm gonna save $5, but the cover price on it is $4.99, and that's cover A. You're lucky it's a light week. But that's it. Those are the only two DC books on the pull list. If I stick to the list, those will cost me $10. If I just rip the band-aid off, the one book will cost me $5, and I will leave Action Comics sitting on the shelf. That's what I should do. Somebody, Max, please, Max, just take it off. Just, if I don't see it, I won't buy it. Maybe that'll work. We'll see. So anyway, $5 for the DC books. Let's go ahead over to the House of Ideas and see what's popping. At Marvel Comics, there are two books on the pull list. The first of which is Ultimate X-Men, issue number 8. I'm behind on this series. The trade paperback for Ultimate X-Men Volume 1 comes out next week, which is November 5th. And I'm excited to read it, like just sit and read it all in one sitting, because I think the last issue I read of this was issue 5. And so I'm missing like some sort of big pieces. I think the issue with this story is that it's running kind of slow from issue to issue. There's not like a huge action oriented plot. Like, this very much feels like a middle grades sort of manga horror story. And while I love middle grades books, I'm not a big fan of horror or manga for that matter. And so it's not keeping me from month to month the way it should. And then when I fall behind, I got to read like more and more, not just to catch up, but to remind myself of what happened before I fell behind. And suddenly monthly comics, like, maybe I should just stop reading comics month to month and just stick to trades. But then how would you watch this show every week? Questions that need answers. Ultimate X-Men issue number 8, written and drawn by Peach Momoko, which, by the way, I think makes her the most consistent creative in the Ultimate Universe right now, because I think every other series has had a fill-in artist for at least one issue. So shout out to her. $4.99 on that. I'm grabbing cover A, because yes, I'm still buying this book. And next up is Wolverine Revenge, issue number 3. Of course, I'm going to get the red band edition. This is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Greg Capullo, and man, like, colors by FCO Placencia. I won't be shady. Anyway, so this book has been great. I feel like it made headlines this past weekend for reasons it shouldn't have. It's been a good book. There have been delays, or at least I think issue 4 is delayed, and now issue 5 is going to be delayed as well. But what you really need to know is that Wolverine is on a revenge mission. Like, he's kicking butt, taking names. This is the bloody big Wolverine story. It even involves Sabretooth. So if you missed out on the Sabretooth War and you wanted something that didn't have any ties to Krakoa, then check this out. Check out Wolverine Revenge. This is Greg Capullo, in my opinion, at his best. I can't imagine someone else coloring this book, but obviously I'm going to have to. But I enjoy it. Tim Townsend on inks, by the way. Very, very good stuff. It's just an excuse to watch Greg Capullo like wild out on art. So $5.99 on that, because I am getting the red band edition. And that, I guess there's only one cover for red band? No, because they got ratios and stuff. Grabbing the cover A red band, though. And that's it. Those are the two Marvel comics on the pull list this week. So if I stick to the list, and I will, those will cost me $11 this week. As we skip on over to the indies, there are 3 indie titles on the pull list this week. And we're going to start things off with one from Image. This is Feral, issue number 7, written by Tony Fleece with art by Trish Forstner and Tone Rodriguez. This book has been awesome. It's like, I don't know, it's a zombie book, but with cats. It's like, I won't say it's like The Walking Dead with cats, but it's kind of like The Walking Dead with cats. Like, I really love, like, just how much the pet nature of it all has really been played up. Like, the cat's curiosity and just the territorial nature of cats. Like, there have been secrets that have been unearthed. And so at this point, I can't really talk about this book without spoiling it. All you really need to know is that issue 6 was a brand new story arc start, and you probably could have jumped in with issue 6, and now issue 7 is out, or will be, with a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Tony Fleece is doing a signing near me I think in Cary on Wednesday. But like, who does a signing on a Wednesday morning at 10 a.m.? Like, how I'm supposed to just take off work? It's not Tony's fault. This is just things that I vent about that I probably shouldn't vent about on camera, but here we are. Next up is Thundercats, issue number 9. Thundercats, written by Declan Shalvey with art by Drew Moss. I told you guys I needed to catch up, and if I didn't catch up, then I was going to stop buying this book. And I didn't catch up. And I'm also not going to stop buying this book because look at this cover. Look at it. Just look at it. I think the next trade paperback ends with issue 10. So I'm going to stop buying this at issue 10 and then drop down the trades. Maybe. Thundercats issue 9. Cover price on it is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on my indie pull list this week is one that I did read, and that is Uncanny Valley issue number 6. I think this is slated for like 7 or 8 issues. I can't remember, but I really hope it gets to go on. Like, I hope it gets extended because this book has been really good. This is also written by Tony Fleece. This one's got art by Dave Wachter, and it's about this kid who finds out he's part cartoon, and he is the missing piece in like this kind of war for how cartoon humanity is going to survive. And it turns out someone close to him kind of ratted him out or, attempted to sacrifice him. And now his mom's got to save the day. And now we got to figure out like what exactly this evil entity that Oliver may or may not be sacrificed to, who is it? Who is she? What are they? How did they come to be? And why are the stakes as high as they are? Well, all of those things we're going to find out in issue number 6. And I just love the cover being like an image of like an artist at their board or an artist's board to see like just how this world all came together at the art board. I don't know. Seems really fun. This book has been really fun. I'm ready for a trade just to have it like to display and not just like in boxes and on whatever. The point is, I really love this book. I don't want it to end anytime soon, but I'm also ready for more or to see it in other formats. I'm ready for this to be the oversized hardcover. I'm ready to talk about this in more places than just the pull list video, I guess is my point. Cover price on this one is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. That's it. Those are the indies on the pull list. If I stick to the list, those 3 books will cost me $14, and that brings our grand total up to just $35 this week. And that means we got room for some books on the radar. Just in case you are wondering, The Amazing Spider-Man, the Zeb Wells run is ending this week. So issue 60 is the final Zeb Wells issue, and it does include a preview of the new Joe Kelly story, 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. So if you're willing to pay $7.99 is the cover price for this, for the oversized finale and the little preview of what's to come, then no, it's available this week. I do like that cover. $8 is a little bit much, but hey. Next up is the Blood Squad 7 Strike File, issue number 1. This is a one-shot, and I don't remember it. So go back and listen to my interview with Joe Casey. I feel like this is more of like a supplemental book than it is like a one-shot to get you caught up. So just know the Blood Squad 7 trade paperback, I believe, is also out this week. So if you grab that trade paperback and you grab the Strike File, then you'll be ready when issue 7 comes out in December, if I'm not mistaken, for Blood Squad 7, which if my memory serves me correctly, it's basically like what if Youngblood always existed in the Image universe. And now Youngblood is coming back, so I don't know how that's going to work. But Joe Casey's a great writer, so if you love 90s Image, you'll love this book. I missed out on 90s Image, and that's why I'm skipping and waiting for trade paperbacks on this. But $4.99 on that one. And the last new series that's on the radar for me this week is It Happened on Hyde Street, Devour, issue number 1. This is a one-shot, by the way, from the new, this is from Ghost Machine, but Ghost Machine's got their different imprints within the imprint, and Hyde Street is like their horror stuff. Like all the horror genre stuff kind of goes in Hyde Street. So we had Hyde Street number 1 a couple weeks ago. I still haven't read that one. And then this one is by Maytal Juk. I don't know how you say that name, but Basically, it's about this woman who is trying to fit into a wedding dress and takes like a diet pill, but the diet pill has some sinister origins, and you know, what kind of Pandora's box opens up from her taking this diet pill. The cover looks super scary. The story sounded interesting based on how they were pitching it at the Ghost Machine panel at New York Comic Con. And so if you can stomach like horrific imagery, maybe there's something here for you. I am very much on the fence, which is why it didn't make the pull list. But I do love that cover. Cover price on it is $5.99. And that's it. Those are all the books that are on my radar this week. It's going to be a light week for me no matter what. But I know that next week the floodgates are opening. DC's going crazy. Other publishers are going crazy. We're getting G.I. Joe next month. We're getting a lot of stuff debuting in November. So I got to start paring down this pull list. I should definitely drop Action Comics. I should probably drop Thundercats. But let's not be a Debbie Downer. Hey, by the way, as you can see, I'm crazy busy, but the New York Comic Con recap is coming this week. I'm a little bit late. We got some overviews coming. We got some trade paperback reviews coming. Whole lot of stuff going on. So subscribe to the channel. Make sure you don't miss out. And until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.